well, shock to start with, quickly followed by elation, obviously. And I was just, it could have been any one of the team that were here. It just turned out that I was one of, 4 guys that were fortunate enough to go through that door and make that rescue. But we had always hoped for that outcome, but still, we're not prepared for it. So, yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And originally, it was, to see her sitting there and in the way that she was, it was just incredible.
And as an officer, what did she say to you?
Well, I asked her what her name was. One of the guys jumped in front of me and picked her up, and I just wanted to be absolutely sure that, it certainly looked like Cleo. I wanted to be absolutely sure it was her, so I said, "What's your name?" And she didn't answer, and I said, "What's your name?" She didn't answer again, so I asked her a third time, and then she looked at me and she said, "My name's Cleo," and it was, and that was it. So then we turned around and walked out of that house, and not long after that, got into the car, and the officer I was with, Detective Sergeant Hutchinson, who is the family liaison officer, called Cleo's parents and said, "We've got someone here that wants to speak to you." And it was, a wonderful feeling to be able to make that call. So,
what was their reaction?
Oh, you can imagine, just absolute surprise, and they were ecstatic. So things developed so quickly. We didn't really have time to prepare them, and certainly didn't want to give them any false expectations about what might happen. We didn't know ourselves, so it's always a delicate process, when it comes to that. So, but still to be able to give them that news and then say, "Please start making your way to the hospital, we'll meet you there," was fantastic. And it was really, an honour and to be able to witness that reunion. So many of the guys that have been doing long days and long hours, and we're only at the pointy end here, but we're backed by a massive task force, more than half of it back in Perth. But yeah, it was an honour to be able to see that reunion and have a part in doing,
If she was found alone, how did you find the 36-year-old?
I think Mr. Wild's already addressed that. It's not something that we can go into.
Did Cleo appear to know what was going
on? In what regard, when you say going on?
Had she been abducted?
Look, it's really hard to say. There's processes we go through, and you don't want to taint that. So, in terms of recording evidence from people so young, we also need to be mindful of their mental health and their welfare. So, the questions that it was more or less that we were talking to her than she was talking to us. But can I say, having seen her a couple of times this morning, she's a little Energizer bunny, and how she has that much energy. I wish I did. I'm about ready to go to sleep. But she was, so just a very, very sweet, energetic girl, very, very trusting and very open with us. We all wanted to take turns in holding her. So yeah, it was a really good experience.
Is she physically okay?
Was she physically okay? She's physically okay. Yeah, and that was evident from the start. Taking to the hospital, I guess, was assurance of that from the people that know what they're doing.
We've spoken about Cleo's parents' reaction to hearing the news. What was Cleo's reaction to seeing her parents for the first time?
Oh, mummy, big hugs, kisses, and lots of tears. So, as you can expect, it was.
Is this the best moment of your career?
Oh, without a doubt.